Hello, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys doing well, and welcome back. So, somebody asked me a question recently. They said, it was actually in regards to pornography. They said, why is it that humans nowadays in like civilized world are incredibly obsessed with pornography, and why was pornography invented to begin with? Because it obviously didn't exist in ancient times. It's a relatively recent invention, and it seems to have taken off a lot in civilized world, in civilization, but we don't really see it in the primitive world. Well, um, the explanation actually is pretty simple. It's because humans in nature are supposed to be naked. This is a fact. Humans in nature are like animals; they are naked. We are just supposed to be going around naked, and everybody should be seeing everybody else naked um, all the time. So, technically speaking, if you want to see it this way, technically you should be living in a 24-hour, 24/7 porn movie, so to speak. Like, 24/7 it should be porn. Like, you should just be constantly surrounded by naked people, and the men checking out the women checking out the men. And that's actually a good thing, because this is something that promotes sexuality, and it promotes for the humans to reproduce and to have sex. So it's actually a good thing. And it was designed as such by nature, actually. Nature wants humans to see each other naked all the time, so that so that they reproduce and have kids. Because the worst thing that can happen to any species in nature would be that the members of the species do not reproduce. And of course, if they stop reproducing, they're gonna become extinct. They're gonna die, right? So, for example, in Japan is having some problems, Korea as well, declining birth rates, because Japanese people are not reproducing as much as they used to, and this is a problem. Now the Japanese government is making sure to implement some kind of new, uh, I don't know, rules or whatever, stipulations or something, to kind of promote sexuality. They want people to have sex, right? Because they feel threatened. They need taxpayers. They need more money, and if the birth rates keep going down, there are going to be less tax money, and of course, eventually, it could lead actually to the Japanese becoming extinct. I don't think that's very likely, but this is the whole problem, right? It's Yeah. So this is why nature wants humans to be constantly surrounded by each other in a naked state, because then there's going to be more reproduction, and if there's more reproduction, it ensures the survival of the species. Because if they don't reproduce, the species is going to die out, and this is pretty much, excuse me, the worst thing that can happen. Because once the species goes extinct, as we know, as we have seen, it's impossible to bring it back, right? So all the animals that went extinct, like the aardvark, for example, where's the aardvark? Can we bring back the aardvark? We can't, right? Because they're extinct. So yeah, so this is actually like strong evidence and proof from natural observations that humans are supposed to be naked 24/7, and that we should be living in a 24/7 porn movie, right? I mean, you 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 like the men gonna be checking out the women and their naked bodies, and women gonna be checking out the men and their naked bodies, and this should be something good, because it promotes sexuality. Of course, also in nature, there's not really much to do, so people are gonna have sex all the fucking time, right? But it's just supposed to be that way. They may not necessarily have sex. You know, just because you put naked people together does not necessarily mean that they're going to necessarily agree to have sex. You know, the woman can refuse, say, you know, I'm not attracted to you. I don't want to have sex with you. Or the man can say, I don't want to have sex with you. It happens, right? I mean, I don't, you know. But generally speaking, this is how it is. You're supposed to be like that in nature. You're supposed to be naked. There's a reason for it. It's to promote sexuality and to promote um, reproduction, sex. Um, Now I'm going to come to the topic of pornography. Why was pornography invented? Well, pornography was invented because when people became civilized, they, when people became civilized and they built civilization, which is what we've been living in for thousands of years, they started to wear clothes. They started to hide their bodies. So the humans who are engineered or programmed to see naked bodies 24/7, to literally live in a visual porn movie, um, yeah, now because they became civilized, nobody is naked around them, so they don't actually get to see naked bodies as often as they should, or as often as is natural. And especially if they're not particularly successful or lucky with sexuality, they may never see naked bodies, or very rarely. So that became a problem. And when that became a problem, well, when you have a problem, what has to happen is a solution, right? You need a solution. So, necessity is the mother of invention, and that's when porn was invented. Porn was invented by the Italians. Guess what? Because the Italians were Catholics. And the Catholic religion, especially back when porn was invented, was a very strict sort of religious community that forced people to abhor and stay away from anything that had to do anything with nature or sexuality or nudity or sexuality or whatever. So this kind of strict, prudishness led to people being sexually repressed and having so many fantasies about seeing naked bodies that they went completely nuts and decided, you know what, we're going to invent porn. And they invented porn. Porno. They invented porno. So that they can have like an artificial access to like sexuality and nudity that they would naturally get without having to be constantly naked. I guess because they live in civilization, right, where modesty is promoted, right? This is the reason. Okay, so this is actually the reason why porn was invented. Porn was basically invented because people could no longer get access to nudity and to see naked bodies as often as they should naturally, and therefore they had to find a solution, a way to fulfill that need artificially. And porn was the solution for this problem in particularly sexually repressive parts of the world and cultures, such as like Muslim cultures or, Arabic cultures, where the women are, for example, forced to wear burqas and to hide even, not just their bodies, their physical bodies, but to hide even their hair, for example, or face in some cases. This sort of sexual repression, of course, it leads to the increase of usage of porn. And of course, because people in the Middle East, they do have actually very high levels of testosterone. It has been proven actually that Arabs and the Middle Easterns in general tend to have much, much higher testosterone than white people, than Europeans. And as such, this creates a huge problem. Like you got a population of people who have really, really high testosterone, like through the fucking roof, but they live in a culture where they have no access to the feminine beauty or nudity or whatever. So what happens is they go behind doors and the porn usage goes through the roof and increases. And you could check this out. I mean, if you don't believe me, you can check it out. You think I'm lying to you, fine, whatever. Check it out. Put it on Google or whatever. You know what I mean? Google it. Like, what are the countries in the world that have the highest level of porn usage? And surprise, surprise, Arabic countries in the Middle East are going to be way up there in that list, right? So now I explained to you everything about porn. Why was porn even invented? Why does it even exist? What this whole deal is all about, and what is the natural alternative. The natural alternative is people should just be naked 24/7. We should be able to see the naked bodies of humans all the time. Yep, this is just how it is. There is nothing wrong with it. It's just supposed to be that way. It's actually a good thing because it promotes sexuality. It promotes sexual behavior and reproduction, right? Yeah, so I hope that I answered this question. And, guys, if you have any more questions, anything that you want to find out the answer to, I think I can probably give you a very accurate explanation or answer to your question. I think I can. I'm going to do my best, obviously. So yeah, that's the reason why porn was invented. It's kind of a shame that people have to go on a TV screen, or a computer screen just to fulfill something that should, just practically be happening naturally. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's just the way that it is. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. And if you like, subscribe, and comment, I'll see you guys in the next one.